How do you prepare for career changes and life changes in the coming AI revolution? Good morning, guys. Randy here. Right now, we're on the cusp of seeing what AI can do. It's still a very open, wild, wild west, in my opinion. I've been in IT since 1999. I saw the internet revolution. I didn't know what to look for in the year 2000 as I saw it unfolding. As we were switching from dial-up internet to high-speed internet, I was in a data center with one client and roughly 100,000 square feet of storage spaces per client servers. And that's one of the reasons why they went under. They were too far ahead of their time. But at the time, I saw many opportunities to get a foothold as an early adopter in the internet. So now I don't know what to look for, but I know how to watch for it, and I'll know it when I see it. And I know what I'm seeing with AI is going to cause a bigger revolution than the spread of the internet and high-speed internet. It's going to revolutionize the way you live, the way you work. I have been playing with multiple AI systems, and just now recently got serious with Claude Code and Google's AI Studio, building real-world projects. So it's taking time to learn best practices and putting this, I guess, the safety things, the things you don't know about, but things you don't know to do. So that's where using one of the AI platforms as your advisor. You can run it past ideas. You can tell it to think about what I'm not thinking about, tell me what I don't know, and it's really helpful. For example, when I installed the Claude Code on my personal PC, it stepped me through the process of exactly how to install. Every time I found an error, I just copied and pasted the error into my Claude.ai interface. It told me exactly what to do. I got a visitor. I'm out here feeding the squirrels while I'm thinking about these things. This is my brainstorming time where I can turn my brain off from all the projects I'm currently working on. And the hardest part is prioritizing. There's so many things that I want to do, so many ideas that I don't have time to implement. So AI is really good at keeping me focused. When I tell it my task list and give it my priorities, every time I talk to it, it says, "Did you do this?" This is your main priority today. Do it. And you can program the personality. So my AI's personality is a combination of the author from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Monty Python-esque, and Carl Jung, and who knows what else. I've completely forgotten, but I want it to be thoughtful, brief, and at the same time a little bit crazy. No, not crazy, twisted. What to watch out for to take advantage of AI opportunities, and on your favorite platform, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube, especially YouTube. Start searching for things that in AI are of interest to you, or just general topics in AI. Spend 15 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day watching those videos. So for example, I am really interested in all the latest news about Claude Code and ChatGPT, and I'm looking for real world projects to build so I can build out my GitHub portfolio to demonstrate that I have some skills. I try to be conservative in how I portray myself to a potential employer. I live by the old saying, under promise and over deliver, and it's worked out pretty good so far. What else? That's my main focus right now, is just looking for opportunities. We're still early on in AI. Everybody's focusing on all the billions these companies are pouring into AI. Well, the same thing happened in the internet revolution to these companies like Yahoo and Microsoft. They all poured hundreds of millions of dollars or more into all kinds of internet startup things, and a lot of them went bust over time. Right now we're still in the investment phase, and I don't know how long it's going to take, a year, 2 years, 6 months, don't know. But eventually the investors who are buying these stocks for Microsoft and Meta, and they're going to say, hey, where's our return on our investment? And eventually there's going to become a couple of clear winners, just like Facebook beat out MySpace. There could be another Facebook competitor come up and does something that Facebook won't do or can't do. Not likely, but it's a possibility. And that's what's going to happen with all these companies. They're not going to go away. Google's not going to get rid of ChatGPT. Microsoft's not going to get rid of Copilot. But if you're interested in working in AI, if you're looking for a job in AI, You need to focus on who's being adopted into the workplace, who is letting the AI company, which AI company is being allowed to operate in an enterprise environment. For example, in the early days of operating systems, there was Microsoft and Apple, and I believe Linux. I don't know the exact timeline, but Microsoft got adopted for one major reason. They went after business clients. Apple went after the youth, the young generation. I don't know their reasoning. I'm only guessing. Bill Gates went after business because his mother was on the board of directors for several companies and knew the CEO or director, somebody high up in IBM, and so that was his into the market. He convinced IBM to license his product, and that's why Microsoft took off like a rocket. And Apple didn't take off because they were trying to get the youth, students, to use their products, and it was just taking too long to trickle up, as you know. And then Linux was like a hobby operating system. But the main point was that I'm trying to make is Microsoft offered support. Linux didn't offer support at the time. So businesses don't want to worry about fixing things when something breaks. That's why Microsoft primarily won, because they offered support. Anyway, so how do you know where AI is going and what opportunities are coming up? You simply have to develop a skill of, it's not simple, but you have to be observant. That's the main thing. You have to be in the loop and know what's going on. While everybody else is playing Candy Crush and waiting in line for the latest iPhone, you're paying attention. And now that you have access to free AI tools, you can build a tool. You can build actually you don't have to build it. You just tell it. You go to your favorite platform, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. I like Claude because you can turn on persistent memory so that it doesn't forget the conversation. I don't know if you can do that in Gemini or ChatGPT. I always ask it to create a document. In Gemini, it's called Canvas. You have to go down to the bottom and click on I think it's the plus button, where you can upload files or do other things. And one of the things is it says Canvas. So I've gotten in the habit of telling it to create a Canvas document, a living document that can be added to, modified, and updated as this conversation progresses. And I save it as often as I can think to do it. But it will help you build out a game plan that you can feed back into any AI, and it'll know what you're talking about. Oop, I got another customer coming, another squirrel. I wish this thing had dual cameras so I could film him, but here he comes. I hear him coming in for his morning peanut breakfast. This one is called Frosty because of the frosting on his ears. Hopefully I got him on camera. It's hard to see because I had to turn the camera away from me so I can't see the screen. And I can't switch cameras on the fly. Anyway, that's really the only way I know how to do it. You have to just keep track of what's going on in the news, and specifically what AI platforms are being adopted by who. For example, I think it was the Pentagon wanted a certain platform in their operations, but the platform would not meet one of their demands, so they're out, and they chose a different one. You can always just ask your AI for how to automate your life, how to make your life easier. Just ask it straight out. Also, always tell it to verify its information because it can be wrong. So I've gotten the habit of, if something's important, I'll tell it, verify this information. For example, I have a growing list of search items that I want to report on every morning. For example, the Strait of Hormuz. I'm asking every day for it to report, tell me this current state of the Hormuz. What are the implications? What things am I not asking you that I should be asking? How long before the first country starts feeling the lack of oil shipments? Which country is that in at this moment? According to Gemini, it's going to be the Philippines as the first country that feels the pinch because they are the most dependent on oil imports. They're a matter of a few weeks away from a crisis. Then I ask follow-up questions. What's going to happen to the rest of the world economy? Who's going to fall in what order? Oop, here he's back again. You pick a good one? Out of all those, you could have picked any of them. You picked that little teeny one. I don't know what his criteria is for picking peanuts because he'll pick up 3 or 4 and drop them. They look perfectly good to me. Anyway, that's how you get started with AI. Don't give it personal information. Just ask it questions about headline news, things you're interested in. Tell it to double check its answers and tell you where it got the information from, cite your sources, and then ask it things like, what am I not considering? What should I think about? What are the implications of this event? And you can just run that again and again. every day. Make sure you put it in a Canvas document so that you can copy and paste the information into any AI session, or save it in Notepad, save it someplace, email it to yourself if you have to. That's what I do out here on the while I'm sitting out here brainstorming. Is I'll open up an email to myself, and as I come up with different ideas, I'll use the speech to text feature and just talk to my email. When I wrap things up for the morning to go back inside, I hit send, and then I copy and paste these into the different AI chats that I have running, depending on which area, idea, subject I'm working on. Hopefully this helped a bit. I'm an AI guy. I'm an IT guy who was there at the beginning of the internet revolution. I've been in consistently. Oh, here comes Frosty again. That is the literal interpretation of the phrase squirrel that you see in the movies. I'm just hoping that you can use some of this to keep your eyes open for opportunities, whether it's AI or something else, it doesn't matter. Find problems that people are complaining about and try to fix them if you can. So right now, the biggest thing that I'm looking at is how to transition from an IT hardware software position and embrace AI in the workplace. And I'll talk to you later.